Hey everybody, AJ back again for the Mighty Gluestick channel. Big shout out this week to Dungeon Master Johnny and the BasicallyD&D channel. I'll put a link down below. He has been making quality D&D related videos way longer than I have. Has inspired so many people to get back into the game or start the hobby. And his Traps on Tuesday videos are excellent. He's also a pioneer of the new breed of professional dungeon masters, hired guns who put together top quality games for very reasonable fees. There are others who have done so, but I think DMJ's method is the best and would be the one I would use for sure. Alright, continuing on with the Dragon series, we are delving into the outer planes again. The lower planes, and this coincides with my chat about Yugoloths and the lower plane of Gehenna, home of the Pyroclastic Dragons. I mean, look at that thing. First off, you want to get toe-to-toe with this creature, you better be immune to fire, because it's like a volcano with wings, teeth, and claws. It's not actually the largest or most lethal of the planet dragons, and unlike the Abyssal Drake, doesn't go out of its way to destroy and kill everything, but it is highly unpredictable and prone to venting its frequent bursts of anger and explosive rampages of devastation, very much like the volcanic terrain that it inhabits. It is a massive brute of a dragon with scales like ash, basalt, and obsidian. Its glowing hide bears cracks that are red, orange, or yellow in colour. Though its wings appear flimsy compared to its armoured bulk, they are strong enough to lend it flight, and it is very adept at riding the thermal plumes of its homelands. Pyroclastic dragons are either lawful evil or most often neutral evil. They are living manifestations of the primal fury of earth, fire, and rumbling thunder. Their movements reshape the landscape. Their appearance outside of the bleak eternity of Gehenna can spell the end of civilizations. They are just as likely to plunge into the liquid magma of their home and swim through it like water as they are to plunge out of the blackened sky like a roaring meteor spewing eternal fire. They do lair in caverns carved out of volcanic rock, where they do, when they do venture to other planes, they will only rest in areas of volcanic activity. If need be, they will crack open the very earth to create the volcanic area that they require. So they are capable of creating a mountain and pretty much annihilating whatever was sitting there beforehand. Though it takes them a fair while, to melt, blast, and dig down far enough to punch through the mantle and release the magma. They will do it if they're stranded in an area with no other suitable resting places, or seek out thick forests that they can set on fire in a raging firestorm, just so they can take a nap in the middle of the inferno. Not as cozy as a pool of magma, but better than nothing. They usually consist on an entirely mineral diet, but they do enjoy the taste of meat. Barbecue, obviously, well done. They are usually encountered alone, but mated pairs do travel together before and after breeding. They lay clutches of eggs, I presume, inside of volcanic calderas. The eggs are larger than normal for a dragon and radiate incredible heat, enough to set wood on fire if it touches the shell. Hatchlings have no need to hunt for organic food, so they stay in the relative safety of their volcanic lair until they're large enough to fend for themselves, though some may die due to fighting with each other. Pyroclastics do not tend to build up their anger and what they do, and then they release it in an explosive rage. They unleash one of two types of breath weapons, and both of which count as magical weapons. The first is a 90-foot cone of superheated ash accompanied by crushing waves of sonic force, dealing half fire damage and half thunder damage. Their damage is equivalent to a red dragon, but that extra range of the 90-foot cone is quite impressive. Or it's a 120-foot beam of superheated plasma that acts as a disintegrating line 10 feet wide. Creatures within the area of the line must succeed on a constitution save or crumble to ash. That's right, just dead outright. Creatures that successfully slave do not take any damage. It's basically a death ray that can cut through just about anything, kind of like a lightsaber, but less hum and more boom. The physical stats for an adult Pyroclastic Dragon are almost the same as an adult Red Dragon, however the DC of their frightful presence is 21, requiring the same wisdom save one would need against an ancient Red Dragon. Plus, although they do the same damage on claw and bite attacks, any physical contact with them also results in an additional 1d10 heat damage. So they can set fire to anything with just a sweep of their tail. As they advance in age, they become more and more spell resistant. By adult age, they can shrug off first and second level spells. By the time they are ancient, anything below level 5 will pretty much just bounce off or fizzle. They are primal, fire, and thunder. They gain spell-like powers as they age, and 3 times per day they can produce flame and create thunder waves. Once per day they can create a firestorm, incendiary cloud, or use a stunning power word, and create pyrotechnics, shatter, and walls of stone or fire. They are not likely to devote much time to the study of magic. When they're in a state of rage, they don't really have the faculties to utter magical incantations and such. Not when they can just burninate everybody. Burninate everybody? And with ancient dragons can produce meteor swarms, which is that part of devastating civilizations that I was talking about. Yugoloths are loath to disturb the rest of Pyroclastic Dragons. They tend to stay away from them, and this is one reason why so many of their lairs and fortresses are mobile. On the plane of Gehenna, the landscape shifts often, and so do the dragons. Though most of them reside on the first layer, named Kalis, while it is possible to enlist the services of lawful evil Pyroclastic Dragons, and these individuals have been known to form into a flight to take down a common enemy, which is just the scariest proposition I can think of, the majority of Pyroclastic Dragons are neutral evil and will simply kill any Yugoloth that dares to stand before them. Yugoloths, therefore, clever guys, have learned to send gifts in the form of wretched and tortured living sacrifices that convey polite greetings and invite invitations to parley just before they get flame grilled and eaten. It's actually a pretty reliable method of getting in a dragon's good graces, if you're a sadistic and evil fiend, of course. Oh yes, I would certainly give Pyroclastic Dragons some quirky powers to keep in line with their nature. For instance, they could just stare at metal and cause it to heat, like the spell. And I think giving them a power to sort of build up a plasma breath charge and cycle it internally would cause a magnetic pull that could rip a weapon from the hands of an enemy in close proximity, which is, yeah, pretty cool. Plus, they can literally play the ground as lava with you. I mean, they can turn the ground to lava. Back soon with more D&D goodness with everyone. This is just a short dragon video. Stay frosty. I'll be back with you soon.